Model Selection Software, Part 1. Welcome to the module Model Selection Software, Part 1. There are two parts to the Model Selection Software series, modules TOOLS310 and TOOLS311. This module will focus on the system model selection function. You would use this function when you know an application's operating conditions, and would like recommendations on which SMC equipment is suitable for the job. The second module in the series, TOOLS311, will cover the calculation of system characteristics function. You would use this function if you already have particular SMC equipment in mind, and wish to know if your choice is suitable for the application. The second module in the series will also cover how to use the simple version of the model selection. After completing this module, you will be able to correctly utilize the condition input screens, interpret the software output results, identify when a selection is not suitable. Please note, it is assumed that users of this software have a working knowledge of engineering principles, and the software should be used as a guide only. Where can I download the latest version of the model selection software? By connecting to the site address http://www.smcworld.com/select/en/air. Click on How to install to find out about the installation procedure. Please install the software on your PC to complete the exercises. This is what you can see on the home page. On the right-hand side, you have the different topics offered by the software. System model selection, system characteristics calculation. A simple version of model selection is offered. The miscellaneous settings button allows you to choose the language, program units and display the version of the software you are working with. The help button takes you to the help manual. The exit button lets you close the software. Pressing the history button displays any saved results from previous calculations. To run a new selection or a new calculation, press the corresponding button from the list and then click New. In our example, our customer wants to clamp a part so that it can be machined. Using the operating conditions provided, they would like recommendations on which SMC equipment is suitable for the job. If you want, you can download and save a copy of this example from the Resources tab at the top of the page. This will make it easier to practice the example on your own PC before you complete the quiz. Firstly though, let us show you a few videos demonstrating how the software works. The cylinder circuit. Select the standard cylinder circuit button and click New. On this screen, the operating circuit can be configured by selecting a type of actuator, the solenoid valve, and the control equipment. Once the type of actuator, the control equipment, such as flow controllers and quick exhaust valves, and the solenoid valve have been selected on the right-hand side, the configured circuit automatically appears on the left-hand side. In the solenoid valve section, a drop-down menu allows you to choose the valve mounting. The cancel button returns to the main menu. The next button moves on to the condition entering screen. This screen is used to enter the selection criteria. The circuit selected during circuit configuration appears on the left-hand side. We will enter the application parameters, as per our example. You can see that in most cases, you can use the drop-down lists to enter the application parameters. In many instances, you can also type into the applicable fields. You will need to enter the load to cylinder ratio and give the load weight. In our example, the clamping tool mounted on the piston rod weighs 0.2 kilograms. If the cylinder is used for the transfer, the resistance force is not required. If it is used for clamping, as in our application, the clamping force must be entered, in our case 200 newtons. The clamping force is the end of stroke force. It therefore influences the choice of the actuator's internal diameter, but not the full length of the stroke. If the cylinder is used for pressing, the resistance force must be entered. Enter the mounting angle. Notice the orientation of the cylinder changes in the diagram. Our application is horizontal, therefore 0 degrees. Finish by selecting the friction factor. Again, notice the diagram change on the left-hand side of the screen. Now the selection method needs to be chosen. There are two methods to choose from. Optimum size priority. Regardless of possible connections between components, it is the component with the optimum size, the smallest, that corresponds to the required stroke time selected as a priority. Or connection priority. A component that corresponds to the required stroke time is selected by giving priority to the possible connections between components. Let's choose optimal size priority and click the next button to move on to the cylinder selection screen. On this screen, you have 6 inputs. Select what type of actuator you want to use. In our example, we will choose the CP96 with air cushion and G, parallel, port threads. The cushion style and connection types available will depend on the selected actuator. The next question is, do we want the software to select the cylinder diameter, or not? In this case, yes we do. Define how the cylinder is mounted in the machine, and the load connection. Click Next to continue. On this screen, you have 3 selections to make. 1. We select the valve series, then choose the 2 valve port threads. Click Next. On this page, select the tubing series you want to use. Specifications for each selection can be seen on the left-hand side of the screen. Click Next to go to the results screen. This screen displays the selection results, and other calculations, such as cushion capability and condensation calculation. On the left, you can see the performance curves and the results from the calculation that we will look at in greater detail later on. The center part of the screen indicates the component selection in their reference. The model changing button allows you to change your flow controller and silencer. The right-hand side shows the application details entered. Let's have a look at the different buttons. Characteristics calculation is the current page we can see. Cushion calculation, the screen goes on to the cushioning calculation, allowing you to check whether the absorbed energy falls within the permitted range. Condensation calculation, the screen moves on to the condensation calculation screen. The return, print, save and cancel buttons really need no explanation. Shock absorber, this option would only be used if your cushion calculation is outside the allowable limits for the actuator. We will show you an example of this in Module Tools 311. Introduction. Click on each button marked with a cross to obtain the curve definition. Speed profile curve. This red curve represents the changes in the piston speed over time. Its scale on the left is graduated in millimeters per second. Acceleration profile curve. This green curve represents the changes in the piston acceleration over time. Its scale on the right is graduated in meters per second squared. Introduction. Click on each button marked with a cross to obtain the curve definition. Introduction. Click on each button marked with a cross to obtain the curve definition. Inlet pressure profile curve. This blue curve represents the pressure variations inside the cylinder on the supply pressure side over time. Its scale on the left is graduated in megapascals. Cylinder displacement profile curve. This black line represents the cylinder displacement over time. Its scale on the right is graduated in millimeters. Relief pressure profile curve. This blue curve represents the pressure variations inside the cylinder on the meter outside over time. Its scale on the left is graduated in megapascals. Introduction. Click on each button marked with a cross to obtain the curve. 90% force time. The time required for the cylinder force to reach 90% of the theoretical force after switching on the solenoid valve. Please adhere to the following precautions for use. This software selects models by theoretical calculation and the result may be a little different from the real products. Only use the result as a reference. Read warnings and cautions in our catalog before using the registered products in this software. The table of contents in the registered products from this software may be modified without prior warning. Copying or reproducing part or all of this software is prohibited without prior authorization. The copyright for this software belongs to SMC Corporation. SMC Corporation holds all the rights to this software, including the intellectual property rights. The rights should also be in force for updated or revised versions in the future. Thank you for taking this module Model Selection Software Part 1. You are now going to test your knowledge with a quiz.